5 ways to not be an annoying car enthusiast. So this is not a hate video. This is not a video meant to tease people. I've already made a series about stupid things car guys say. This is more so meant to be an advice video where we kind of just have a down-to-earth talk about dumb things that car guys do that I think are annoying, but I'm going to actually present solutions on how to fix them and also present why it's a problem to begin with. This is also a video that, believe it or not, isn't just indicative of car enthusiasts' interaction with each other. On this channel, I like to tease non-car people every now and then because it's fun. I live within the bubble of car enthusiasm on this channel, but obviously the greater world that I still live in when I'm out of this channel is I do regularly interact with a lot of non-car people, and a lot of you car guys will too, and it's very important that you don't be annoying and you interact with them properly because it can determine a lot of things in your life. It's important to know how to talk to non-car enthusiasts as well. So here's how to not be an annoying car enthusiast. Step 1, don't be a walking computer. And there's an amazing parody video about car enthusiasts I'm going to link below in the description that captures this issue perfectly about what you look like if you're a walking computer. If that was hard for you to just sit through the entire thing, even as a car guy, a lot of you talk like this. And at car meets, it's kind of okay because again, car guys like to talk about this. We like to, toot our horn and we like to talk about our experiences and we understand every single word of the conversation as car enthusiasts. It's fine. Outside of car interactions, this is really annoying. And even as a car guy, if I'm not at a car meet anymore, I'm even annoyed by these interactions. The solution to this is to kind of realize that to non-car people and really outside of the context of cars, so like I said, even though I'm a car enthusiast, when we're not at a car meet and we're in a totally different public scenario, try to just keep it simpler because that now brings us to the next step on this list. Listen. As in, literally listen, like not just listen to me in this video right now. A conversation is a two-way interaction. You do not just continue on and on and on about whatever without reading their facial expressions or the person that you're interacting with and what they're doing. I'm not gonna lie, facial expressions are not a perfect indicator of their interest because some people are really nice people and they won't act annoyed and they won't show their annoyedness on their face, so they're still gonna smile and nod. And this happens a lot when you're dating a girl especially and she's trying to be as nice as possible to you when you're trying to be a car guy and go full car guy mode on them and they're just like and they're nodding and smiling at you, but they have no interest in what you're talking about. Here's my solution to this. Start giving them a question. If you realize that you've talked way too much, you can get them to talk by just slowing down your talking and then just ending your talk with like a question, even if it is just how was your day. Try not to give them questions that can be answered with just yes or no, and this applies more than just dates. This applies to anyone, even job interviews or like I said, the future friends you make. It's important that you give them a reason to want to talk after that you made them listen to everything you've just talked about. Now it's your turn to listen to them. Step 3. Get another hobby. I talked about this in my previous video and I can't stress this enough. If you didn't watch my previous video, it's a great video and I recommend you watch it, especially as a car enthusiast. Even if you're not thinking about quitting cars, it's just a nice thing to think about. The reason getting another hobby is important is it gives you more topics to talk about, and it may sound counterintuitive at first. I'm a car guy though. I should only like cars. It's like my thing, dude. Cars, bro, car. And you can still be a car enthusiast and like other things. And one of the most annoying comments I get is people like, this guy's a fake car guy. He likes anime and video games. What a loser. What a nerd. You are not a fake car guy. You are not a traitor when you get another hobby. That is the dumbest, most brainwashing, cult-like thinking that some car guys try to sell to, not just to me, but to other car enthusiasts. They try to trap them and gatekeep them and say like, it's one thing to gatekeep people from coming in. It's another thing to gatekeep them from coming out. Because like not everyone who's in the car community always wants to be in it. Sometimes they leave occasionally, they take a break, then they come back in. You're not a fake car guy or a traitor who's like quitting the community and doing something different when you get another hobby. It's a good thing. It really, really is. That's why I mentioned it last video. That's why I'm mentioning this video. It can give you time to not be burned out of being a car guy, but more importantly, it develops you as a person, which brings us to the next step. Step 4. In order to not be annoying, don't make your ego and your entire personality revolve around cars. Do not be the actually guy who gets offended. So in the parody video I listed, he purposely gets the specs of the car wrong, and you have the car guys in the comments going, actually, this is the actual specs of the Audi R8, and wow, this guy's so stupid. No, he got you good. It worked on you. Your ego is so deeply rooted into being a know-it-all for being cars that when someone gets something wrong, even for humor, you can't see it. That makes you unfathomably annoying because you're not fun to talk to anymore. You're a literal buzzkill when you have to be the actually Mr. Factual crack open a dictionary, or in this case, you're cracking open Google or whatever freaking Forza game that you get information from, and it's just not fun. But I really want to talk more about personality. So the reason getting another hobby is a good idea, so kind of referring back to step 3, building it on to step 4, to non-car people, if you're like, hey, I like JDM cars, now let's have someone else stand next to you who's also a car person. If they go, oh, I love muscle cars, guess what both of you are to that non-car person? You're both car people. You are the exact same person. They don't know the difference between JDM or muscle. Don't be offended by it. Remember, reel your ego in. You gotta reel it in. Don't try to explain the difference to them. It's okay. The reason car guys quickly start to bottleneck into being the same type of car enthusiast, like because liking one thing only and not having another hobby, it can very quickly make you to the outside world look like Control C, Control V. That's why sad boys all feel the same. That's why VQ boys feel all the same, and so on and so forth. But now imagine this. Imagine if the muscle car owner was like, hey, I also like going fishing and hunting on weekends, and sometimes I go hiking. And then imagine if the JDM person's like, oh, I love animation. I also love doing artwork. Yeah, that's my passion. Now, you're two separate people. You are both still car enthusiasts in the eye of the non-car person, but you are now defined by something other than cars. So even though you both like different type of cars from the beginning, that's hard for people to classify you into a different type of person. It's cool. You give them a reason to be excited to talk to you, and they actually will want to learn a little bit about cars now, because now you can get them to see the differences between you two. They would have never gotten there if you didn't present them with anything else to get them there. If it was just a muscle car guy, JDM boy guy, no, you're just car guy to them. But when you have other interests, now they're like, okay, yeah, tell me more. You can talk about your other interests, and over time through your friendship, then they'll learn about your cars, then they'll learn about why you're passionate about them. And even if they don't want to be a car enthusiast, they might even pick up some lingo that you say and understand more about you as a person and more about your ride, even to the point they can differentiate it from other cars. And that's a successful win-win situation. You turn something from a super annoying interaction that's very commonly a coffee paste situation to, oh my god, all sad boys feel the same, they all talk the same, they all do the same thing, to, wow, this is someone who actually stands out. Even though his car may have some stereotypical things that you expect from a clapped out Sylvia S14, turns out he as a person is very interesting and has lots of depth to them, and doesn't just boil down to, this is why I hate sad boy culture, I'm gonna actually rant it. Basically, the reason they're so copy paste is because they all aesthetically look into the sunset, use vaporwave stuff, and say this: cars are my freedom, man. I hate my parents. Cars give me the reason to leave my house. And I don't want to hang out with other kids at school. I hate them. But a car lets me drive to the other school and talk to other kids. Dude, even though I don't even actually talk with any of them because they all hate me too. Dude, no one at car meets talks to me. I'm not part of any clubs either. I didn't actually try to join any. But dude, I trust me, man. They just hate me, bro. They just don't understand me, bro. I'm a sad boy. And then that's why all these sad boys then get together on the internet and start jerking off to the fact that the world hates them, when in fact, when you start saying like stuff like, oh my god, like you start trauma dumping, like cars are my passion, cars are all I have. Cars should not be all you have. I'm serious when I say that. Last video I talked about how if you spend everything on something, that something becomes your everything. That doesn't just work economically and financially. That works emotionally and socially as well. If all of your social interactions revolve around cars, if all your emotional development is tied to your car, it's time to open up and grow, which brings us to step 5. Don't be entitled. No one owes you anything, especially only after meeting you once. Friendships take time to form, and no one is forced to give you any respect by you just being there. If someone doesn't want to give you their number the first time you meet them, that's just how life is. Turns out, people don't hate you. So the reason sad boy culture, oh everyone hates me, oh I'm locally hated, oh blah blah blah. No, you're stubborn and you're not changing. If you consistently behave the same way, and everyone's consistently come to the same conclusion about you, you should put 2 and 2 together that you are the problem. I don't want you to beat yourself up over it. I don't want you to feel dejected and hated, but I do want you to realize that you should take some responsibility. Here's the most beautiful way I can word it. So in life, especially in school and in North America of how we're raised, we're taught that we're all special. We're also taught to just be yourself. When you date someone, be yourself, man. If they don't like you, that's their problem. They're missing out on you. Oh, when you're making friends, they don't like you, be yourself. Be yourself. You know, if they don't like you, that's their problem, because you're just being yourself. Bull crap. And I mean that in a very gorgeous, beautiful way. The whole concept of being yourself is probably the biggest lie that North Americans are sold to in school. It basically equates to being stubborn and don't change, and let me put it in this perspective. Who you are now, currently, be it 14, 16, 25, or even 30, are you really going to be the same exact person when you're 70? More importantly, should you be the same exact person? Here's the obvious answer, of course not. What I'm trying to say is if you truly love people, be it family, be it your friends, be it someday even your future love interest, you should want to change for them. You should want to become a better version of yourself. I'm not asking you to be someone else, but I'm not wanting you to be yourself currently either. You should want to be a better version of yourself. You should want to be open to change. Being young means you're malleable. When you're 14 or 16, you're going through a lot in your life. This whole be yourself basically equates to be stubborn. Don't change. Just keep doing what you do. Oh, if it's not working, they're haters. No. The point of life is to change. You are not special at birth, but you will be special in your life. All of you watching this video can be special, but you are not already special. That is the stupidest thing they teach you in school. However, the beauty of life is finding that you can be special, and it's a journey to find what you're special at. And you can find those passions, you can find those things that make you special, you can find those things that make you a more fun person to talk to, that make you feel like you're not hated. Because if everyone in the car community makes you feel hated, maybe step back from the car community for a bit. Join another community, look a bit at life, let that community change you, and let yourself change into that community. You get other perspectives, you change your own pace of life, and you learn things from these other people in these other communities. And when you change, allow yourself to open those doors to that change and not be stubborn and be yourself as school tells you to, you can grow up and you can grow into them and they can grow into you. And then when you come back to the car community, because like I said, you don't have to quit it permanently. If you come back to the car community, all of a sudden you might actually carry yourself differently now. All of a sudden you may have another hobby you're more interesting to talk to, and maybe in general you're not as entitled anymore because you realize that life is big. You know, you stepped outside of the bubble that you trapped yourself in. If you only care about cars, you only talk about cars, no one else likes cars the way you do when you're a sad boy and no one gets you, you know, you're gonna eventually just keep going further and further down that rabbit hole where it's just an endless trauma dumping contest of which person is sadder than the other sad boy. And once you exit that bubble that you lived in, you learn other perspectives, you enjoy other communities, you let them change you, and then you in turn can come back and change the community you were once part of. I'm not saying to be so critical to the point you do hate yourself. What I am saying is to just sidestep. You know, you're not taking a step forward, but you're not taking a step back either and kicking your own ass. And it's kind of hard to go forward when you feel like the world is kicking your ass. But if you step to the side, just outside of the bubble you're in, you know, just go to another community and just look at things from a different perspective. That's the greatest lesson I want to give to you this video. So, thank you for watching, and if you like car content or car culture or whatever future content I may make, probably about scooters and motorcycles, make sure to subscribe. Other than that, Bladed Angel out.